the X-verse,
Sure.
which is a fun thing to do. Just kind of blanket statement, thoughts. How do you feel about this? Not leading anybody in any particular direction.
No.
Just would like to get natural thoughts, natural reaction to the first ever time we're seeing this kickoff as the brand new kickoff for the biggest, best league in the world, the NFL. Now, there was obviously a conversation about the kickoff being removed from the game completely if the special teams coordinators did not figure out how to save the play. And if you lose the kickoff, what's going to happen to punt? What's going to happen to special teams? That was kind of the ripple effect fear that people were having if you lost the kickoff. So the special teams coordinators around the NFL came together, watched what the XFL did, kind of critiqued it a little bit, made it a little bit more NFL-y, but mostly the XFL return. They changed some of the yardages on kickoff, touchbacks in the landing zone, yada, yada, yada. And we saw it for the first time last night. A lot of people's thoughts were fascinating. A lot of people said, I haven't seen enough to judge it. I respected that. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, that was good civil discourse right there. There were some people who said, this ain't football. Then there were some people that were saying, you know what? I don't mind this. I think you could see the potential. Last night, a lot of XFL guys playing in that game. So the returns and the work is going to look exactly like it did in the XFL. We won't really know what this kickoff is going to look like until we see guys with 4-2s and 4-3s returning the kicks in the back and alongside blocking it all. Now, the Canton surface is a little slick. It is a turf. Obviously, it's a high school field. The people of Ohio are wonderful. They fill that place up. It is a real celebration. And the game got called short, so we don't know who would have ended up winning, but both the teams played great. But the kickoff was the story of this entire thing. If you go to the first kickoff, okay, this is my big takeaway from this thing. If we could put it on his back. So, and next to me here is 13-year NFL vet, corner, and all-pro kickoff and punt returner, Adam Pac-Man Jones. Pac-Man carries that way if you want to say hello to anybody. Hey, yep, that's Pac-Man Jones. Okay, so this is obviously very crucial to both of our careers. Now, one of us has tackled the other person in this shot right now.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. Do you want any guesses?
Well, I'm trying to think. When did Pac-Man kick off?
I was going to say, you returned a couple of kicks, didn't you?
Yeah, I played wide receiver a little bit.
Yeah, quarterback?
Yeah, running back, they had me.
Yeah, if he was playing corner maybe when you were a quarterback.
Yeah, the thing about it was Pac-Man was about to score on us. He was about to break through that first, and I was in there, and I was going for the ball, too. I was going for the ball, too. There's no way, right? Tavon Austin took 198 on me, okay? On the same day that I was giving a Toyota to a family of a returning soldier at halftime. Tavon Austin took 198 yards. That was supposed to be a pin. Tavon Austin, West Virginia legend, highlight legend, takes one in the house. Can't be having the entire West Virginia crew just take one, you know, on my face.
Yeah, makes sense.
Can't have it. Now, needed a fair catch. Son of a bitch wouldn't fair catch ever, this particular guy. So, you know, good gamesmanship, but all pro, literally. Talked about as one of the biggest and best returners of all time. So this is the first time we're seeing this kickoff, okay? So the big question with it all is, there's a landing zone here. Okay, I don't know if you can hear me. There's a landing zone right here, okay? Ball has to go in there, obviously. Hang time does not matter. Hang time does not matter at all. Because this play does not start until somebody touches the ball. So how long it's up here to give your team time to get in there does not matter. All this kicker who's all the way back, this looks kind of weird. I don't love it.
Yeah, it does.
I don't love the way, you know, this whole thing kind of looks. But all this kicker's trying to do is land it here, okay? This is the goal, landing it in between the 5 and 10. That's landing it, not where they catch it, landing it. Because if that son of a bitch lands here, that ball's coming out already to 30. So if you're trying to cover and work, you're trying to land it in between the 5 and the goal line. Hang time does not matter. So then the next question is, okay, with the landing zone, 2 people back, these guys aren't allowed to move. Who's telling these people when they're allowed to go cover? Like, when are they allowed to go? And we talked to Coach Riz as he was pitching this rule to the NFL. They said they didn't want what the XFL does. The XFL would blow a whistle. This play has started. They touch the ball. You can go. Blow a whistle to kick. Blow a whistle when ball's touched. Blow a whistle when tackle happens.
Too much.
3 whistles, 1 play. Play in between the whistles. There's a lot against football in that particular series of events. I know other sports have it where there's a whistle that indicates something in the middle of a play. I think the NFL people did not want to add an extra whistle. So what they were going to go off of, and Joe Buck pitches, we'll be talking to Troy Aikman in about an hour and 10 minutes, so live from Canton Hall of Fame, everything he's got going on the call last night, is they're expecting it to be like in baseball when somebody tags up or whatever. So somebody catches a fly ball, they catch it, and then the runner knows that they can go and score. Now, that's been in baseball since the beginning of time. Okay? For kickoff coverage, there's never been a time where you are, because you're about to, you know, this is like A lot of contact, a lot of running, a lot of everything, a lot of energy. Are you going to make the team? You're covering kicks right now, so you're at the bottom of the roster. You need to know that anyways. So there's a lot. Are you going to be able to hold your water and also get off on the right time when somebody just catches the ball and you just see them catch the ball and then you're like, that's on me. I'm gonna wait. I think that's asking a lot of the kickoff coverage team. So that was my big fear is like, how are we going to indicate when they can start covering and not covering? Because if you're late off the ball and they're able to set up a return, house call.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, if you're early, you're making the tackle. So this is the first one. Look who go ahead and play it. Guess who makes the tackle? Boom. That guy's first one off the ball, right? Who makes the tackle? Bang. That guy. Right? That's going to be an advantage. Did he leave early? Absolutely.
Yeah,
He was the first person off the ball before the ball was caught. He has a yard head start on everybody else.
Yeah.
He ends up making the tackle. So naturally, as somebody who sat in special teams meetings, and Pac-Man can attest to this, people are going to see this film, and everybody that's going to be trying to make a roster at the bottom of the thing is going to be like, oh, they'll give you a little bit. They'll give you a little bit beforehand. And if you're the first one off the ball, you're going to make the play. You make the play, guess what you make? The team.
Yep.
Which means what? You make money,
right.
which is all anybody is really looking for. So I don't think they had that figured out in the first half. So then they go at halftime, they come out in the second half. Let's go to the opening kick of the second half, okay? Tommy Townsend, who slaughters football, had a 63-yard punt last time. Was his first punt. He is multiple-time Super Bowl champion at this point. Just dog added to the Houston Texans, which I don't like.
Sure.
I don't like that they just keep. This team was supposed to be, but nonetheless, let's move forward. Fairbairn's kicking off here. This is the first kickoff of the second half. Go ahead and run it. 3 steps. If it's windy, the 12th player can come on and hold it. Tommy's supposed to get the tee. Instead, waves to his family. He's going to have to get through that entire thing. They have this kickoff. This is the furthest return I think that there was, out to like the 32. Everything else was in between the 20 and 30. From what I saw, I might have missed at least one of them. A lot of high-scoring stuff. And they called a penalty on that, though. They said that somebody, illegal formation, somebody left the line early. They would run a replay. Nobody left early, but it was clear that at halftime, somebody told ref, hey, listen, we got to call people leaving early because that can't become the thing. I have no idea how they fix that. I have no idea how, with human instinct, the competitive edge, what's on the line for every single one of these plays, how every single one can become a touchdown, which Pac-Man's going to talk about here in a matter of moments. But like, let's say it's a Super Bowl. Let's say it's a Super Bowl. Minute 15 left.
It's a crucial play.
Biggest play. I mean, you're talking about biggest play. And how are they going to monitor if somebody is, even if you're 1 foot past, that's a third of a yard here in America. I know we're going off meters and shit for the Olympics. Sure. But, a yard is 3 feet. Even if you're 1 foot, that's a 1 foot advantage off early. Are they going to call that? Are they going to call that? If that's a tackle inside like the 15, are they going to call that back and have them redo it? If it's a house call, okay, are they going to talk about one of the returning teams leaving a half a step early? Like, how are they going to – that's going to be, in my eyes, as kickoff person, special teams person, that one's going to be the toughest to figure out. That one's going to be toughest to regulate. Other than that, though, I think there's a lot of promise for these returners. Legitimately, I think it's going to bring some excitement if people are kicking it into the landing zone.
For the returners, I think this is great. That is an issue with the guys that leave early. Me personally, I think it should be like a shot clock horn, I guess, sound for when they can go. But for as returners, if it was the first kickoff return, I think it was a block away from being up out of there. Even the last one too. But so the returners are going to be happy because they are going to get more action with the ball.
I think they're going to be able to have exciting returns.
For sure.
Which leads me to, I think, touchback, take the ball at the 30 as opposed to a potential breakthrough one line.
Yeah.
The original rule was if you kicked the touchback, the ball would come out to the 35. That's a big deal. The percentages of scoring a point whenever you're at the 35 versus at the 25, vastly different because think about how many first downs you got to get into scoring range. Like that is that is literally what kickoff people and punters are doing is field position, and the percentages of where they start versus how many times they score is just vastly different between 35, which what used to be a touchback, 20, 25, 30 even. 30 is kind of an interesting designation because couple first downs, you're in maybe field goal range. 35, couple first downs, definitely sending them out there. So it's like they were going to have it be a 35-yard penalty if you kick a touchback, so forcing people to kick it in the landing zone. They moved it back to the 30 to get the rule. I don't think there's going to be much change. I think you're going to see a lot of touchbacks because of what Pac-Man just said. All you need is one person just to peek or be late off the ball, and we got house calls, which is exactly why they wanted this to be the kickoff return. I'm just not 100% sure if we'll see it or not.
Yeah, and I think that was like my biggest takeaway. I don't want to say concern because obviously that's part of it. Like we want more excitement from the kickoff, but thinking of Tyreek Hill back there, it's like I think they want more touchdowns. I don't think. I personally like it would be weird if like what if they do this and they don't make many changes to it and Tyreek Hill ends up taking like 12 back this year. Like I don't want it to turn into a situation where it's like
that'd be dope.
Almost every single play is a return touchdown. Like I don't
it's just touchbacks. What I think is going to happen,
and I think that's why they're going to go to that.
I think the 30 isn't a big enough penalty for post touchback. Personally, I don't think it is. Just whenever you look at the percentages of scoring, but I think that was the only way they were going to get it past some of the owners that were probably voting on this rule. Yeah. Wait a minute, this is going to be what our kickoff is? Well, yeah, it's going to force more returns. To take it to the 35, somebody said, wait, 30, we're just going to give up the 35 if somebody kicks it too good, somebody kicks it too hard. We're not going to do that. They moved it to the 30, I'm not sure, but like in theory, this is awesome. You know, looking at it optically, I think it's going to take some time for people to. I think it's going to take some time because it looks like a practice, which is what it was. This was a practice drill for like the last 30 years in the NFL for kickoff coverage. Whenever you don't want to run the team as far, so let's say it's week 15.
Thursday practice.
We're doing kickoffs. Guys, boys are tired. Like it's been, we had our bye week was early. We're doing this entire thing. We got to cover kicks though. You don't want them running from 30-yard line, 35-yard line all the way down. So you just move everybody down to like 35, 40 on the other side. Then a jugs machine hits the ball. Whenever it's caught, everybody move on it. This is literally what the practice drill has been for 40 years. The XFL instituted it into the game.
I thought they invented it. Basically did.
All right. There was a little bit of a campaign by some people over there acting as if they created the entire thing, but they were the first ones to institute it.
Yep.
So I think that is something. And then they had the medical results and the health results and the injury results from it, and then that obviously gets pitched and turned into it. It could be more exciting. The kickers having to make like 25% of the tackles is pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's a pretty cool thing to think about. You know, because I think we're going to find out about some dogs that are kicking balls.
Oh, yeah.
Now, on the flip side, I do worry.
Yeah, like the Giants had Randy Bullock starting week 15 last year.
He brings the heat.
And I do worry about that side. Like if your kicker goes down, you're on a backup free agent that you just signed kicker, and then he's out there, tackling people.
So the thing is, because you don't have to hit the ball good.
I was going to ask you, how hard do you think it is to keep it out of the end zone?
In that landing zone. Yeah, so it's like 20 yards long. And with some of these guys who aren't kickers, who kick off. I think the dude down in, was it Justin Reed, hit a touchback?
Yes, yeah.
I think he hit a touchback. That's very abnormal. Normally, whenever you see somebody from a position who played soccer growing up, who understands how to kick, linebacker or safety or corner, wide receiver, whatever it is, I think like Dude Perfect, Dude Perfect is like, all right, let me throw this football as far as I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, that's how far I can throw it. Let's put something in there.
Wait, they do that?
Well, I think that's just one of their strategies. They've openly talked about that. I think that is the thing. With some of these positional players, with the way they kick, I think full kick gets them
to the money
in the landing zone. Like I think them just kicking it gets them in the landing zone. But if you mishit that, because you're not a professional kicker, and you accidentally squib it, which certainly happens with people, that ball's out on the 40. I think. That ball's out on the 40 or whatever. So it's like trying to manage risk-reward with all of it is like, and it's the first time it's happening. So many special teams coordinators were watching this last night just thinking to themselves, like, how can I take advantage of this? What are they trying to do? And also, is this even comparable? Because the returners are not the returners that you're probably going to see this season. So that is the story.